In this video, I will show all of Yoda's appearances in Marvel's The Empire Strikes Back adaptation. I will use a split screen to show the panels as they appear in the paperback book titled Marvel Comics Illustrated Version of Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, as well as the original Marvel Star Wars title. The drawings of Yoda are different between the two versions. If you enjoy the content of this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Following the frantic success of their adaptation of the first movie, Marvel was better prepared with their Empire Strikes Back offerings. The first two versions available were a paperback book and a magazine in May 1980. This was followed by the 6 issues in the Star Wars title and later a large format Treasury edition. Because the movie was not complete before work began on the comic, writer Archie Goodwin and artist Al Williamson did not have images for all the characters and vehicles to work from. One notable character's design was not finalized when work began on the comic, and that was Yoda. Al Williamson had to reference a Ralph McQuarrie painting for his depiction of this diminutive Jedi. Since the paperback went to print first, the Yoda shown in that comic is vastly different than the Yoda shown in all the other formats. Marvel had time to fix the drawings of Yoda before these other formats went to print, so we're able to see both the early and the final versions of Yoda. The Empire Strikes Back is told in Marvel Comics Star Wars number 39 through 44. Star Wars number 41 continues the story from where Luke Skywalker's snowspeeder is struck by the AT-AT. Luke escapes the crashed ship, topples the AT-AT, and ultimately our heroes escape the Imperial onslaught on the Hoth base. Yoda's first cameo appearance is also in Star Wars number 41. On the final page of that issue, Luke Skywalker and R2-D2 arrive at the planet Dagobah aboard Luke's X-Wing fighter. Yoda is seen on the last panel of that page as he is concealed in the swamp overlooking the bog Luke's X-Wing is stuck in. Star Wars number 42 is best known as the first comic book appearance of Boba Fett. There are a lot of caveats around this, however, and I'll make a future video that details the many comics that collectors have claimed are the first appearance of this fan-favorite bounty hunter. For this video, however, Star Wars number 42 is important because it contains the first full appearance of Yoda, who is shown on 6 pages. Yoda makes his presence known to Luke Skywalker early in the issue after Luke and R2 have safely moved supplies from the X-Wing to the shoreline of the bog. Strangely, Luke ignites his lightsaber, but quickly puts it away when he realizes Yoda is harmless. After Luke explains he is looking for a Jedi Master, Yoda keeps his identity a secret and agrees to take Luke to this master. Yoda rummages through Luke's supplies, pulls out a power lamp, and leads Luke into the swamp. Sometime later, Yoda has taken Luke to his hut. While preparing dinner, Yoda asks Luke why he wants to become a Jedi, and Luke explains it is because of his father. Yoda responds that Luke's father was a powerful Jedi, and Luke becomes agitated that this diminutive creature thinks he knows Luke's father. Yoda talks to Obi-Wan Kenobi's spirit and says he cannot train Luke because he is impatient. Obi-Wan responds that Luke is trainable, and Luke finally realizes this creature is Yoda. Some time has passed, and we see an exhausted Luke slice a metal bar in half. He is frustrated with his stamina, but Yoda is fine with Luke's progress. Much time passes, and Luke continues to train with Yoda, and his abilities in the Force grows. Yoda has taken Luke to the bog which entraps his X-Wing, and urges Luke to free his craft from the swamp. Luke tries to lift the X-Wing, but is exasperated when the ship sinks even further into the bog, and believes the ship is too big. Yoda tells Luke size isn't an obstacle, and using the Force, extracts the X-Wing from the bog. Luke does not believe what he just saw, and Yoda tells him that is why he fails. More time elapses on Dagobah, and Luke is able to cut a metal bar 4 times, and Yoda is pleased with his progress. Luke is frustrated, however, because he knows a Jedi would have made 7 cuts. Angry with himself, he asks Yoda to toss another bar, and Yoda cautions Luke about using anger, fear, or aggression to manipulate the Force. These are emotions used by users of the dark side of the Force, and while it is easier and quicker to employ these emotions, they will consume a person like it did Obi-Wan's apprentice. Star Wars number 43 concludes Luke Skywalker's training by Yoda and sees Luke leave Dagobah to rescue his friends on Cloud City. Up to this point, the comic has done a great job showing that Luke has spent considerable time on Dagobah. Yoda appears on 5 pages of this issue. As one of his last lessons for Luke, Yoda takes Luke to a tree deep in the jungle and Luke senses the dark side. Yoda tells Luke he needs to enter the tree and warns he should not take his lightsaber. Luke feels uncomfortable descending into the darkness without his weapon, however, and ignores Yoda's warning. Inside, Luke will confront himself. Sometime later on Dagobah, Luke is meditating and believes he sees Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yoda explains if Luke can clear his mind, he will be able to see Ben Kenobi again. Luke continues to concentrate, but this time he has visions of his friends on Cloud City above Bespin being tortured. Yoda tells Luke he is seeing the future, and Luke is conflicted on whether to stay or go to them. Later that night, Luke is awakened by more visions of his friends and tells Yoda that he must leave to rescue them. The next morning, Luke is wearing his X-Wing outfit, and he now sees Obi-Wan Kenobi's spirit clearly. Both Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda insist Luke is not ready to leave, but Luke is determined to rescue his friends, but he promises to return to complete his training. Luke is unwilling to sacrifice his friends while he trains on Dagobah, and he departs. Obi-Wan's spirit tells Yoda that Luke is their last hope, but Yoda tells Obi-Wan there is another. As you can see, not all the panels showing Yoda were redrawn. Anytime Yoda is drawn in shadows, extraordinarily small, or shown from a distance, those panels are the same between all the versions, even though they are not representative of how the final design looks. Marvel no longer releases a comic adaptation to coincide with the release of a Star Wars movie. Star Wars movies no longer need the exposure the comics provided when the original trilogy was released. I think that is unfortunate, because we lose the insight early comic releases provided us into the design process, which for many Star Wars fans adds to the overall mystique and appeal of the movies. Star Wars comic fans are fortunate that we're able to see Yoda on the comic page similar to how he was painted by Ralph McQuarrie, and to compare those images to the character's final depiction. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe so I can bring you more content, and please leave a comment below.